Welcome back to the Guild, everyone. I'm your Guildmaster, and today we are booting up a brand new explainer simulation. We're looking at the official Cambridge syllabus like it's a legendary world map, and today we are dropping straight into one of the most notoriously difficult zones, Topic 3.9, Complex Numbers in Polar Form. Now, if you are an AS or A-level candidate, you already know this is a mandatory dungeon. This topic appears in almost every single examination series. It's a high-tariff boss fight, and yet it consistently wipes out entire cohorts of students. Why? Because they treat it like a simple arithmetic check rather than the complex, multi-stage quest that it actually is. So today, we are going to treat this exam paper like an open-world raid. We're going to look at the mechanics, the hidden traps, and exactly how you extract maximum loot, which, in our world, means securing every single available mark. Grab your gear, check your stamina bar, and let's jump right into the simulation.
Right out of the gate, we have to face the ultimate boss prompt. Why do students find multi-stage analysis and method marks so incredibly hard? To understand this, let's look at the faction profiles of two typical players in our world. First, we have player 1. Let's call him Alex. Alex is our over-encumbered warrior. He is carrying way too much inventory weight. He has memorized every single raw fact, every descriptive definition, and every formula in the textbook. But his agility is virtually zero. When he gets hit with a high-level analysis question, he just dumps his entire inventory of basic definitions onto the page and hopes the examiner gives him points. Spoiler alert, they don't. Then we have player 2. We'll call her Sam. Sam is a high-speed rogue. She is obsessed with the exam timer, our stamina bar, counting down. She dashes through the early stages of a question, doing massive calculations in her head, completely skipping the mandatory puzzle requirements. She ignores the command word constraints, dashes straight for the final answer, and ends up triggering a massive trap. Both players fail the quest because they fundamentally misunderstand what Cambridge is testing. The assessment framework isn't just about whether you can find the right number, it's about your logical architecture. Method marks are the lifeblood of your run. They reward the precise, step-by-step procedure you build to clear the sector. So, to make sure you don't fall into the same traps as Alex and Sam, here is our quest board for today's run. First, we'll map the core mathematical principles. Second, we'll equip the procedural framework. And finally, we will analyze examiner alerts and strategy. Let's move out. Unlocking Zone 1, Core Mathematical Principles. This is the theoretical architecture you absolutely need before engaging the enemy. Let's pull up the Elder map. Okay, look at the main display. This is the Elder map, the fundamental identity. R times the quantity cosine theta plus I sine theta is identical to R e to the I theta. This isn't just a string of characters, it's the master key that unlocks the entire 3.9 sector. But here is where candidates take massive damage. Mastering this map isn't just about memorizing the formula, it's about successfully translating the command word runes. When the Cambridge examiners design a past paper, they embed specific runes, command words like analyze, evaluate, state, or show that. These runes dictate exactly how you must wield this equation. If the examiner casts the evaluate rune, and you, like our warrior Alex, merely state the polar form, you trigger an immediate penalty trap. Your mark potential drains instantly. The fundamental equation requires precise definitions. You have to clearly show the modulus, the r value, which is essentially your distance from the origin, and the argument, the theta value, which is your directional heading. You need to consistently show how moving from the Cartesian plane into this polar form fundamentally shifts the entire geometry of the simulation. If you misread the runes, you wander off the map. It's that simple. To survive this, you have to understand the specific skill trees you're being graded on. The examiners call these targeted cognitive domains. You start at the base level, knowledge and understanding. This is writing out the correct properties of the modulus, or knowing your principal argument needs to be between negative pi and pi. But if you stop there, you're playing on easy mode, and you won't get the top-tier loot. You have to actively level up into application and analysis. And the ultimate master-level skill? Cross-topic connections. The absolute top-performing guild members don't just calculate polar forms in isolation. They actively link complex numbers to other areas of the syllabus map. They use polar form to completely shred through polynomial roots or complex trigonometric identities. When you balance that foundational baseline knowledge with high-level analytical pathways, you trigger a massive combo multiplier for your marks. That is how you secure a top band clear. Unlocking Zone 2, the procedural framework. This is where we talk tactics for securing those crucial method marks. Let's get into the mechanics. Imagine we are dropping Alex and Sam into a co-op raid. They are sitting at the tactical table, the stamina timer is ticking down, and they have to build an unshakable model response to clear the sector. Alex immediately starts panicking, trying to overload the page with every definition scroll he has. Sam is fighting him, trying to pivot immediately to the final calculation because the timer is blinking red. This is where you, as an elite player, step in and deploy this exact 5-part procedural framework. Step 1. Deconstruct the question. Scan the environment and identify the command words. Step 2. Extract relevant data. Pull the specific complex numbers out of the noise. Step 3. Select your analytical framework. Are we multiplying these numbers? If so, we know we multiply the moduli and add the arguments. Step 4. Execute with clear notation. This is crucial. If the question demands radians and you execute in degrees, your spell fails. Finally, step 5. Present with correct terminology. You literally have to refine your topic sentences live to match the Cambridge mark scheme. You are mapping out your logic step by step. Even if you suffer a minor arithmetic debuff later on, following the sequence ensures you capture 90% of the available method marks. It's an essential survival mechanic.
But let's dig deeper into that execution phase. To ensure those method marks actually lock into your inventory, you have to play by the strict presentation conventions. Think of these as your armor stats: proper headings, appropriate formats, correct terminology, and clear annotations. Let's say you're plotting a complex number on an Argand diagram, your mini-map for this zone. If your coordinate is in the 4th quadrant and you write down a positive argument instead of a negative one, and you fail to annotate your working, your logical chain shatters. The examiner cannot give you the mark. Sam does this all the time. She calculates the arctangent in her head, completely ignores the quadrant location, writes down a wrong angle, and boom, quest failed. You need to essentially formulate your working out loud on the page. Make your point, provide the mathematical evidence through calculation, evaluate the constraints, and present it flawlessly. That level of formatting precision is absolutely non-negotiable for the highest mark bands. Unlocking our final zone, examiner alerts and strategy. Decoding the traps. We are going straight to the source code here, the official examiner reports.
Quest pause, system freeze. Okay, before we unlock this top-band paragraph layout to help you conquer your next Cambridge exam, make sure your guild feed is perfectly optimized. Take a second right now to subscribe to Ace the Exams and enable all notifications so you never miss our weekly strategic map drops, whether you are traversing IGCSE, O-levels, or AS and A-level territory. Just hit that bell icon and listen for the level up sound. All right. Game resumed. Let's look at a massive roadblock players hit mid-quest, the difference between superficial breadth and analytical depth. An average candidate, like our warrior Alex, relies on superficial breadth. When asked to interpret a locus of points in polar form, he'll just provide generic, copy-pasted statements that completely lack the specific context of the question. He loses his evidence link, and the quest fails. The elite candidate, however, dives into analytical depth. They don't just state that it's a circle or a half-line. They question the assumptions. They identify the limitations, like, is the half-line restricted by a specific argument range? And then they justify it with hard mathematical evidence. It's the difference between saying the sword does damage and calculating the exact DPS based on armor ratings. You have to link your math to the physical or geometric reality of the prompt.
All right, I'm handing control over to you for an interactive viewer raid world diagnostic. I'm going to outline the top 3 boss mechanics that wipe out candidates, straight from the principal examiner data. Challenge 1. Spot the defective item. Trap number 1 is using the wrong approach for the wrong context. Imagine calculating a massive, beautiful modulus, but the prompt specifically demanded the exact surd form, and you wrote down a rounded decimal. Instant fail. Trap number 2. Forgetting to check format and presentation. Omitting the I in the sign term of the polar form, it seems like a tiny slip of the keyboard, but it fundamentally breaks the mathematical convention of the universe. And trap number 3, providing answers not specific to the context given. If the complex numbers are modeling an electrical circuit's impedance, and you just drop a raw equation at the end without linking it back to the circuit's phase angle, you completely miss the objective. These are the 3 traps you must actively scan for on your visual radar. If you see them, dodge immediately. So, as we approach the victory screen for this explainer, let's review our final loot drop and distill everything into a universal rule set. If you want maximum marks, you follow this exact compile sequence. 1. Identify the key elements. This is your pre-quest question scan. 2. Apply relevant principles. 3. Execute analysis with clear working. This is managing your stamina pacing matrix. Don't rush, don't lag. 4. Verify your results. Did you check the quadrant? Did you check the principal argument constraints? And 5. Present in an appropriate format. This is your post-quest review checklist. If you force yourself to run this exact sequence, every single time you encounter a polar form question, you completely insulate yourself against those examiner traps. You won't play like Alex, weighed down by useless facts. You won't play like Sam, rushing into silly errors. You will play like a true guildmaster.
We're wrapping up with this final critical warning directly from the Principal Examiner Alert. The classic mistake is providing generic answers. Always link every point to the given scenario. Never forget that. Now, to make sure you're fully prepared for your next run, subscribe to Ace the Exams, click that notification bell for our weekly Level Up Masterclasses, and right now, drop a comment below sharing exactly which Cambridge subject and level you're preparing to conquer next. I want to know what dungeon you're heading into. So ask yourself, how are you going to adapt your strategy in your very next past paper to ensure your answers are flawlessly linked to the context? Think about it. Optimize your build, and I will see you in the next simulation.